All right, guys. Dreadnought's back today, taking a look at the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Walgreens exclusive Daredevil figure. This has been a tough one for me to find. My local Walgreens, even though they're on every street corner, it seems like, none of them have had this in stock. The wife was lucky enough to come up on one and one only, and she snatched it, so big thanks to her. Taking a closer look at the packaging, you can see Daredevil across the top here. This is actually brown, not black. Hope you can see that. Got the little Daredevil logo up here. Some nice artwork on the side. You can see Daredevil all in yellow. Same thing going on over here. And then on the back, you can see a nice picture of the figure. And I guess they're considering this part of the Spider-Man wave. And there's a bio if you want to pause it and read it. So let's crack this thing open and take a look at it. And here's Big D out of the package, and he's looking all right overall. I think Hasbro did a fair job. You know, I like the look of the first appearance, Daredevil overall. I grew up on the red suit, so, you know, it doesn't bring a lot of nostalgia for me. And I'm not quite sure they got this look right. I know that D should be smaller, and I believe his neckline should be lower as well. And I believe he actually started with white batons. But the primary reason I wanted this Walgreens and why I was excited for it was to get the head swap. And I wanted to steal these batons as well. And so that's primarily why I wanted him. But we'll take a closer look. And as you can see here, this is another repaint of a previous body mold. We've seen this one several times before. But I think it was a fair choice to use it again. You know, I love this head sculpt, even though we've seen it before. I liked it on the previous Daredevil, and I think they did a great job in the sculpting on this head sculpt. And the paint looks really good. You know, the eyes are clean. They've got kind of an orange look to them. And I'll try and get in a little closer there, and you can see, you know, a lot of detail in the face itself and the chin. So, I was a big fan of this head sculpt before. You know, paint looks really good on it overall. You know, not much going on, but, you know, I think it's a fair head sculpt. You know, on the body, the paint is a little sloppy in areas, and you can see here it starts to run into the brown, you know, around the edges here. You know, I think, you know, this D here is just way too large for Daredevil. You know, I think it's going to make a great D-Man or Demolition Man custom. I can see people slapping a Wolverine head on this thing left and right and turning it into D-Man. So I'm sure customizers will be snatching this up. You know, paint on the arms looks good. You know, actually not a lot of bleed on the brown here near the gloves. I'm not sure if first appearance Daredevil had these little red dots. They're down here on the boots too. I don't remember that, but, you know, maybe he did. It's been a long time. But, you know, the D looks fairly painted well. Some nice line work around it, outlining it in black. And you can see the paint gets a little sloppy up in here underneath, but they did try to paint it through. You know, as we look on the legs, you know, same sloppiness you get down here around the boot where you see the brown bleed through, you know, and you see it bleeding through there as well. You know, but overall, not much has changed. You know, no new sculpting on this. You know, and the paint's okay. I did want to take a look at the other head swap, and you can see this is the Ultimate Hawkeye, I believe, that they repainted, gave him a different shade of hair from Matt Murdock, and painted the inside of his glasses. It does get a little sloppy in a few areas on the paint in the glasses. You see here over the nose, there's a little too much, but, you know, looking at it from a distance, it looks okay. And I liked this sculpt before. It was okay. I did have a huge problem the first time I swapped the head out on here, and it just really did not want to go. So I'm hoping I'm going to get it back on this time. But it took me several minutes last time just to work it on. And there it goes. But it is extremely tight for some reason. I haven't heard any reports of this from anybody else, but for some reason on mine it's just extremely tight. And I'm going to turn him here, and you can see how much pressure I'm having to put on him to turn him, and you can hear that popping. I mean, it's just an extremely tight fit for this head. I don't like the way the head looks on this body. Something about the neck joint just throws off this head sculpt. I don't know what it is, and it kind of looks like it sits on here sideways or something. I just don't like it on here. I'm going to try it on the other one in a few minutes, and we'll take a look. But you know, I don't like the sculpt on this one. And then also looking at the batons, you can see we got the same batons we got with the previous Daredevil, just painted red this time. You know, they fit together like that. A lot of bend in mine. They need some heat to straighten them out, but you know, they're fair and they fit in his hands fairly well. A little bit of a tighter fit in this hand, but you can work it in. You just spin it around a little bit, like so. So, you know, looking all right. And let's take a look at articulation. One thing I do want to say up front is some of the joints on here become very loose while some still remain very tight, so that's kind of irritating. But looking at the head, it moves down quite a good bit, moves up that far, and it is very loose, and I don't know if that's because of the head swap, but it tends to want to fall. It does rotate around, no pivot. Arms move up quite a good bit there. So rotate around. Has upper arm rotation, double jointed elbows. Does have a hinge on the wrist. It moves up that much, back that much, and they do rotate. Does have an ab crunch. Crunches that far forward, just a little bit back. Waist rotation. Does have upper leg rotation. Hips move out, decent amount. Leg will move forward, decent amount. Moves back that much. Double jointed knees. Does have a calf cut rotation. And does have a hinge on the foot that moves up that far, down that far. No rotation, but it does rock back and forth. And here he is compared to the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Bullseye here on the right. And you can see they scale well together. Daredevil's measuring in at right at 6.5 inches tall. And here he is compared to the Marvel Legends Infinite Series red suited Daredevil from a previous wave. You can pick your poison here. My personal preference is the red suited. I think it pops more, and I just like it overall more. You see they share the same molds. Everything's alike except for the two different paint jobs here. So let's swap some heads around and get another look. And after some major struggle, I was able to get the Matt Murdock head on the red suited Daredevil. And honestly, I can't say I like this look. It ended up being just as much of a pain in the ass as it was to get on the first appearance Daredevil, and I'm not happy with the results. I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought I would like it more. So let's take a look at him on the Chameleon. And after playing with the head swap here and the batons a little bit, I honestly really love this look with the red batons, with the red Daredevil. First appearance with the white batons. And I hate to say it, but I don't like this head at all. I purchased this figure or was after this figure for the head swap mainly. And now that I have it and I've played with it and tried it on a couple different things, and not just because it fits so tightly, it actually fit okay on this figure. It was tight on both of these. But, you know, I just don't like the look now. It doesn't remind me of Matt Murdock. I actually can't stop seeing Hawkeye in this figure now. And I didn't think it would bother me because those things usually don't, but it just doesn't, to me, even on the suit, it doesn't look like Matt Murdock. So I'm probably going to throw this in a box and not use it at all, or sell it to somebody that's after the head swap or something, because it's just not for me. I am actually really happy though with the way the batons came out. I wish they had sold them that way. And wrapping up this review, I've got to say overall I'm not very pleased with the first appearance Daredevil. You know, honestly, I don't think Hasbro quite hit the mark on making him look like that first appearance. I think the D is too large, and I still say I think the neckline is not deep enough with the yellow to pull that look off the way I recall it. The red dots I don't really know about on the arms and legs, but I don't think they really take away from the figure one way or another. You know, I think it's personal preference on which look you prefer. I like the red look. You know, they're the same sculpts. You know, it's just a matter of paint really is what it comes down to, and I was perfectly happy with the red Daredevil. Major reason I purchased the figure was for the head swap, and I'm just disappointed in it. You know, and it may just be personal preference, and maybe just be me, but I don't think it, you know, pulls off the Matt Murdock look the way I wanted it to. So, you know, I'm just not happy with it, and I'm probably not going to use it. So for me, it's a pass overall. I do think this would be a great D-Man custom, you know, and I don't do a lot of custom figures, so maybe I'm a bad judge of it. But it doesn't look like you'd have to do many modifications here to make D-Man out of this. The only bad thing is they're probably not going to discount these anytime soon. I just haven't seen Walgreens discounting these figures. You know, in my local Walgreens, there's still plenty of Ant-Man and Venom hanging on the shelf and no discount yet. So, you know, I don't think Walgreens is going to come off when these things are just starting to hit shelves now. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. But overall, you know, pick your poison. You know, if you like first appearance Daredevil, it's a decent sculpt. I like this head sculpt the first time around, but if you're just trying to get this head swap, I don't know if it's worth, delving into another figure over it. I do say I love the red batons on my red Daredevil. So, if you're an accessories guy, and I kind of am, that makes up for it a little bit in my mind. I love those back there, and I actually put the white ones on him, and I think they look good. So I like those two looks there with those. Just probably not sure I'm going to be displaying this guy, and I'll probably stick with this guy with the red batons, and this will probably just go in the bin. So, that concludes my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe if you like what I'm putting out. Toy Art, Facebook, and Twitter links in the description below. Come check us out there. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll see you soon. And as we look at articulation here, the head moves down this far, moves up that far. Yeah, yeah, yeah.